Welcome, foolish mortals, back to the channel, and welcome to a new video that is not Disney related. So we wanted to sit down and do a video about some good starter board games to get people into tabletop gaming, because that's something that we really like doing. Yeah. And so we kind of wanted to talk about some of the good ones that are good for people who either have played board games before but aren't very good at them yet, or for people who don't generally play a lot of tabletop board games or anything like that. And so, like, a couple of these are ones that we've taken down to play with my parents, because they aren't really into tabletop games, and with your mom too. So that's kind of the idea we went for. Before we get into today's video, make sure you leave a like and a comment for us, and make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you have not already. So we're going to actually talk about three of the games that we have picked on this list, and actually kind of explain kind of the basic idea and kind of what makes them a good starter game, and then just give kind of a list of the rest of them, because there's a good list of like about a dozen or so here, maybe a little more, that we have on our shelf, except for one of them that we don't have, that are really good starter games. Yes. So, you want to start with the kittens up there? You want to start with Splendor here, since this is the one they can see?
Doesn't matter. Do whatever.
Okay, we'll start with Splendor, since that's the one that's sitting right here. So, really good starter game is Splendor. So, we need to Vanna White it. So Splendor is a gem collecting game. Yeah. So basic idea is you are a gem merchant, essentially. And what you do is on your turn you are collecting these little gem tokens.
Coins.
And there's 5 of them. Yeah. There's 5 different colors. There's an onyx, a sapphire, ruby, a diamond, and an emerald. And they don't really sit well in here because it sits on its side on the shelf. And then you also have this little gold guy here. That's like a wild one. And you use those tokens to buy these little cards,
which are worth more gems.
Which are also worth gems, which would then mean that you can you would have to spend less of these tokens to get more cards. But so they will also have points on them. And the idea of how you win is you have 15 points. I believe it was 15 if I remember correctly. It's been a little bit since we played it.
I think it varies depending on how many people you have played.
I believe so. But yeah, generally, like, when we're usually playing, it's generally about 15. And then the other way you can get points is by this little guy, like she has here. You have different lords and ladies that wants you to have like this.
Certain amount.
Yeah, this one wants you to have 4 sapphire and 4 emerald cards, and then this one wants you to have 3 onyx, 3 ruby, and 3 diamond cards, and then you would essentially get their attention. And then you would be able to take that and add more points to your total. So and that's it. That's all there is going on with this. You collect tokens to buy cards. You collect cards to get the attention of the nobles. That's what it is, lords and ladies, the nobles.
And there's
it's a Euro game, so you're going off of a victory point system. Yeah. That's all there is going on with this game. Yeah,
it's super, super basic, and it's like we've said, like, this is one that we've taken down to
to play with my parents, and I think my sister was there too.
And it's pretty easy. It's simple, and it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, usually it doesn't take a lot to set up. It also doesn't take very long, I don't think. I don't know if the actual time is on here. Yeah, it says about 30 minutes.
It's right here on the side.
Oh, yeah, on the side there. Yeah, about 30 minutes. It's 2 to 4 players, it's about 30 minutes. So it's not one that's like that you're gonna spend hours playing. Yeah. We don't really like those. Like, I'm okay with them sometimes, but in general, we don't like to spend more than like an hour or an hour and a half playing a game.
It depends on the game.
If we're having a lot of fun playing it, we're okay with it.
Yeah, if it's intriguing, it's an ever-changing game, but if it's one that would just go stagnant and you're stuck sitting here playing the same thing over and over, that's what I don't like.
Yeah. So Splendor is a really good starter game. Another good starter game that we have also used with my parents. Actually, this is the first one that we took down to my parents to play with them when I had first gotten into tabletop gaming. is Ticket to Ride. And this one is on a lot of people's lists of good starter games.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a mess. Again, this sits on its side, and
These
so
boxes have been on their side.
Yeah. So in Ticket to Ride, you can play with up to 5 players.
Yep.
Technically, you can play with more because you can play with partners, but
That's which we've done before. We've done teams.
Yes. We have. You each have your little color, and you have your little trains. And with your little trains, you also will have a hand of these little itty-bitty, unless you have the expansion like we do, you have these little itty-bitty cards, each one that has a different color. And you're collecting those in your hand, and using those to go on this giant map board. I won't be able to show you the whole thing because it's too big, but I'll show you a part of it. Aha, there we go. This giant map board. Like that. And so, on this map board, you'll have all these colors of lines like this, and you're paying a certain number of like yellow train cards here to put yellow trains here. So you would pay 6 yellow train cards to put trains here, and you're just connecting cities. That's the entire idea, is you're connecting cities with railways. And then you have little ticket cards here that will get you more victory points. And like this one is a card or a card that you have to connect the city of Boston with the city of Miami. And
So if you can get your trains to connect that far, then that's what gets you those points.
Yeah, and these are generally worth a lot of points. This is a really good strategy for like very end game when you've like put out most of your trains.
Yeah, like
and you want to get some more quick points. Then you go like that. Yeah, this one is connect Seattle to New York, and that's worth 22 points.
Yeah, so that can jump you from last place up to first, depending on what the rest of your team or the rest of the people are playing.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but that's really all there is to it. You're connecting cities and you're completing tickets. Like that's all you're doing. And so, but yeah, it's just a super simple, nice and fun game. Actually, my parent after we played this with my parents, they actually went out and bought it themselves. And have now played it with some of the people back from, like at their church back home.
Yeah, no, this is a really good one. It's pretty simple. It's easy to understand, and it, like Ryan said, it's on a lot of people's like board game lists. And it's really nice. They have a second version of it. It is Ticket to Ride Europe.
No, they have a lot of versions of it actually. They have Europe, they have Asia, and they have some that are actual individual countries. I think they have Germany. And there's a couple of different ones.
But then they also have a Ticket to Ride Junior.
Yes.
It's called like First Journey, I think.
I think so.
And that one's actually even made a little bit more basic, so you could play it with your kids, younger kids. Because this one...
it's probably on the back.
I was going to say, I think this one's on the back.
Yeah, it's for 2 to 5 players, 8 years plus.
So, and I think the junior one is probably like a 6
is for
plus
like something like that. And this is another one that only takes 30 to 60 minutes depending on who's playing. If you play with somebody who sits there and thinks about every move they make for 15 minutes, then it takes a while. And for you, it's not that you sit there and think about your move, it's that you can't figure out where to go.
Yeah, it's like I have all these options. Which one do I pick? And then I pick the one that I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to pick this one. And then somebody messes up my other ones.
Usually me. That's usually exactly what happens, is that I kind of mess up what you were going for.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, all right, and then the third one that we were going to actually go over and explain a little bit is Kittens in a Blender.
Yes.
And which sounds really bad, but
this is probably the easiest of the 3.
Probably. And this one's just a tabletop card game. And it does have an expansion, which we have the expansion. Because this game can usually be played with 6 people. No.
It's up to 4. Isn't that 4 colors?
We can now play with 8. That's all I know. Where is it?
Well, no, it says
there
8
we go.
on here.
2 to 4 players. Because you can play with teams.
Right.
That's what it was. It'll say it's a 2. Again, they can be played with 2 to 8 people. Because there are 4. There in the base set there are 4 different colors of kitten cards, and you can play with partners, and so you can play with up to 8 people, and then you can get the expansion like we have, which expands it to be able to play with. It's essentially up to 12 because it added 2 more colors or 3. One of the 2. I believe it added in purple and orange because you have green, pink. Yeah. Because in the base game, you have green, pink, blue, and yellow, and then this one adds in the purple and orange. So it adds in 2 more colors, so you can play with up to 12 people, essentially, if you're playing with partners.
Or 6 individuals.
Or 6 individual people. So the idea here is you have the kitten cards. I don't want to show the newer color. There we go. So you have the kitten cards, like the green that comes with the base set. And at the beginning of the game, each person picks which color they want. And that's their kittens. Then all of these cards get shuffled together, and everybody gets dealt out. And then you take the actual box from the game, you put it one on each side. I guess I should get this out. You put one of them on each side of the table, and then inside them, you put one of these. You have the blender, and you have the box.
And what do kitties like?
Yes, kitties like being in the box. They don't like being in the blender. So the whole idea is to keep your kitties out of the blender, to either keep them on the counter or ideally in the box, because those are the 3 play areas, blender, counter, box, and to shove everybody else's kitties into said blender and then blend them up.
Yes. So there's of course the action cards. There's the blend card, which everything that is in the blender has been annihilated, and then anything that was in the box then is
also
saved.
saved. So there's the blend card. So yeah, anything that's in the blender goes underneath the blender box, and it's done. That counts as negative points against you at the end of the game. Anything that was in the box goes underneath the box, and those are saved. They're done. They're worth like 2 points at the end of the game.
Yes, and
there's also the blend pulse card, which you can play. You can play as a regular blend card like that, or you can use it to stop somebody from blending up all your kitties.
Yes.
If you have a bunch of kitties in there.
And there's of course other fun cards,
like dogs in the kitchen that makes you pass your hand one way or the other.
There's especially in the expansion, they added in some other cards that change up the game a little bit.
Yeah, like Mouse in the House was a new one from the expansion, which allows you to steal a card from somebody else. Rodent's Revenge, which lets you blend all the kittens in the blender, but all the ones in the box and on the counter stay where they are.
Yes.
Kittens in the Box, that one's from the base game, which lets you move all the kittens from the blender and the counter into the box. Like, there's different action cards.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, if you have like all of your kittens are in the blender, that's a good one to use, even though you're saving everybody else's kittens too. Like, your kittens are the most important.
But I thought it was kind of funny. They started to add flavoring cards that could go into the blender, and I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, this is a super fun one because you're pretty much like you're moving kittens and you're doing what the cards say. There's not a lot of like nuance to it or trying to figure anything out. Like you do what the card says. Yeah,
that's really all it is.
So it's pretty simple.
It'll take you probably about 5 to 10 minutes to explain it to somebody new, kind of what's going on and what to do, and what each card does. But then playing it is really easy, and it takes like, I think we've had games, because it says between 20 and 40 minutes, and we've had games that took 15 to 20 minutes, and we've also had a game that took an hour, but that was because there was like 8 of us playing.
I was going to say, because there were so many of us.
Yeah, there was a lot of us playing that day.
But these are just really good ones that...
Yeah. And those are kind of 3 of the best ones that we like to have people play.
Our favorites.
Yeah, that we like. Yeah, it's our favorite games to kind of use as starter games for other people.
If we're going somewhere and we're bringing board games, these are the 3 that go with us.
These are generally Ticket to Ride sometimes is a little more on the fence of whether we take it or not, because we like some of the other ones better. But yeah, and it depends on the crowd. Like, we don't take it to my parents because they have it now. And we don't take it with us to board game nights with our friends because we play a lot more advanced games, typically. Yeah, we play some of the more intermediate and advanced board games, which we'll also have videos on a couple of our more intermediate and advanced games as well after this. Yes. So, anyway, so that's the 3 we kind of wanted to go over and explain a little bit. But there's a bunch of other ones back here on the shelf that are also really good
all
for...
kinds of them.
to use as starter games. So I'm going to go down my list here. So we have Santorini. That was a really simple game. We've only had that for a little while, and I was actually with Megan when we bought it.
When you picked it up.
And Megan just like got fascinated by it. She looked at it and she was like, that might be fun. She didn't even look at the box. She just looked at the name of it. And it actually turned out to be really fun.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, but that one's, again, super simple. It's really nice and easy.
I'm pretty sure it's a kid's game, isn't it?
It's kind of the idea of it, yeah. It's for...
8 up?
Yeah, ages 8 plus. I mean, I would think actually a 6-year-old could probably play it. It's not that confusing.
Maybe with like some adult help, like you're playing with your kid, and you help them out.
Yeah. So Santorini, Chickapig. That one's fun.
Which is one that I just was like, hey, that looks hilarious.
And it was pretty hilarious. Sushi Go, which is a micro game actually. Which the idea of a micro game is a game that's like a kind of a pocket size game, kind of like Kittens in a Blender. Yes. It's like pocket size, or like, and then it's generally a card game, and it's one that'll take between 10 and 30 minutes that you can just kind of, pop out when you're bored, like you're waiting for food at a restaurant or something. You just kind of pop it out and play it. Which
we have a lot of, because that's my favorite.
That's what she likes to play. I like playing things that are a little more depth to them. More often, anyway. Machi Koro, that one's one of my favorite kind of starter games. That one's, and I put this on the starter list, it's kind of an in-between, between a starter and an intermediate. I put it on the starter list because that's a game it's easy to start, and it's easy to kind of figure out kind of what's going on. It's just harder to actually get the strategy down because there's more strategy behind it.
We played it with a group of people, and I struggled with it really badly.
You did.
But I don't think the concept is very difficult. I think it's just because I was trying to actually play the game with people who had played it.
Yes, because you were playing it with me, Ron, I think Brian was playing with us. Yeah,
Brian, that's the one that's like.
Yeah, because one of our friends, Brian, he's very, very good at board games, and he's played a lot of them. And he won't take it easy on you. Like he'll sit there and explain to you what's going on the whole time. But that does not mean that even on your first game, he does not take it easy on you.
Nope.
It's one of the things I like about him, actually.
I like it, but like with Machi Koro, that was real rough. Real rough.
Especially because they were using all the red cards to just steal our money.
I know.
That was mostly Ron. Yeah, so that one's kind of an in-between starter and intermediate. This next one, kind of the same thing, Smash Up. It's one of our favorite games out of our entire shelf. That's another starter to intermediate. It's easy for people, especially for people who've played games like Magic the Gathering or like some sort of card game like that. Collectible card games.
Those 90s kids that were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Pokemon.
And Pokemon cards. Yeah.
Like, this is right up your alley.
Yes, exactly. But even with people who've never played those before, it is still fairly easy to get a hold of. But there's a lot going on with it there's a lot of strategy that goes on between picking your two factions and things like that.
And it's also easier the less people that are playing.
Yes, we played it with 8 people. 6 or 8 people.
And it got a little overwhelming, even for us who
It didn't help that they were also playing Mario Party at the same time. Okay. There was 4 of them that were playing Mario Party while we were playing Smash Up.
but it does make it a lot more difficult because there's more people, there's more going on, and there's more people to attack and try to take out.
Yes.
Whereas with just you and me,
or even just 4 of us, like me, you, Ron, and I think Jake was there that time.
It goes a lot easier and smoother.
Yes. And then another one of my favorites, me and our friend Ron love this game. It's called Red Dragon Inn. Which is super fun. It's super easy. Essentially, the whole idea is you're an adventurer that's come back from raiding the dungeon, and you're going to spend money on buying booze and getting drunk. That's the whole idea. But it's also just really fun because one of the actual, it's written in the rule book that when you play a card, you have to read that card like your character, and that's one of the really fun aspects of it.
Yes.
That the only one who doesn't get into doing that is this person right here. The rest of us are all doing the cards, and then you get her who's like this. It's like, come on.
I would read it. My character is just really lame. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, and we have Red Dragon Inn 1 and 2. Yeah. 1 and 2, and then a couple of extra characters. Essentially, it just adds more characters. And our friend Ron has all of them now.
Yeah. He has all of them.
So, and there's 7 of them or something like that. It's crazy.
There is a lot, yes.
But yeah, that one, it's not only is it a really good starter, but it's just a lot of fun to play.
It is.
Especially when you're drinking. It's fun to play when you're drinking. This next one is one that we don't actually own. We've played before, but we don't actually own, but we really want to own it.
And you want to know something funny? We've not played this game together.
Did we not?
No.
I thought we did.
No. I played it with some other people.
I thought we played it with Ron and a couple others.
Nope. I played it with Dustin and
Oh, I gotcha.
some other people whose names I don't even know, honestly.
I gotcha.
So no, we've not played this together.
Gotcha. But that game is Forbidden Desert or Forbidden Island. There's Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Island, and Forbidden Sky. Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. But Forbidden Desert's the one that I've actually played. I've seen Forbidden Island played, and it's again really easy. That one's really fun, really good starter because it's a cooperative game. You're not trying to compete with other people. You're all working together.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Except for when you're playing with Ron and he gets the water carrier in
That's
there
just because
then he's
Ron's
just like,
awful to
no,
play with.
yeah. He's like, no, it's my water.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter whether the game is cooperative or competitive, he's going to be competing with you.
Yes, yeah.
And so that's
one of the reasons it's fun to play games with him. Yeah, because so that one's a cooperative game that's pretty fun to play and it's makes it pretty easy.
pretty basic.
And then Ogre Under, which is another kind of micro game. Anna hasn't played that one yet. I played it with my mom and my sister, actually. And that's the only reason I know that it's actually a really good starter game, because it didn't take them long to pick up what was going on.
Okay, so then, yeah, it's good.
yeah, they were able to pick up what was going on.
Good.
So, but Ogre Under is a good one. Unstable Unicorns, which, from us playing it, you really need at least one or two of the expansions in order to make the game actually more fun. With just the base game, it's not as fun because it's just...
I think it's almost too easy as a base game.
It's too easy for one person to just completely own the entire game. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you have one or two, when I played with Auntie Jess and Auntie Taylor before Jess's divorce, started going, but and Caleb was there too. They had, I think, 2 expansions, and that was actually really balanced. That was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot easier to actually like have it be like 2 or 3 out of the 4 of us actually all being able to compete for it, and rather than it just being like one person being like boom, 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 boom.
Which is exactly how it played out when we played it together.
Yes, with your mom actually. So that one's a really good starter one. There's not really a whole lot going on. You're collecting unicorns essentially.
It's pretty simple, and it's another one of those kind of like Kittens in a blender. Mm-hmm. You do what the card says, and there's not much else to it.
And not a whole lot of nuance to it. And then the Oregon Trail card game, which I mean is essentially don't die. Like you're just trying not to die. It's really like not necessarily a competitive one. It's kind of cooperative. You are because you're working. Yeah, because you're working together.
Because everybody's has the supplies divvied up between them. Yeah. But you may not have the supplies that you need to survive whatever happened.
But somebody else can use theirs to save you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't have to though. So it's kind of up to you whether you want to be cooperative or not.
Yes, that's why we don't play it with Ron, because he won't save anybody. Nope. And then the last one on this list is Banana Bandits, which is a really simple, it's kind of like a kid game. Essentially, you're gorillas on a building, and you're trying to knock the other gorillas off of the building while collecting the like banana. I think they're like banana coins.
They're coins. Yeah, they're little coins, and you're trying to collect the banana coins. Yeah. And not let the other gorillas get them. Yeah, and not let the other gorillas beat the tar out of you and knock you off the building, because that can happen too. It's true.
Yeah, that one was a pretty good one too. So that's our list. Like I said, it's a pretty long list, but that's all games with the exception of Forbidden Desert. It's all ones that we have on our shelf that we take when we're going to be playing tabletop games with somebody who hasn't played tabletop games before or hasn't played many, and like the only experience they have is with like Monopoly, which we have, but we don't really play.
I was gonna say, I don't remember the last time we pulled out Monopoly. We have like 20 different versions.
Yeah, we have Pokemon Monopoly, Empire, and Nightmare Before Christmas.
And then, that's the only other Monopoly. Because we have other board games, but those are the only like Monopoly.
Yeah, so we have 3 different versions of Monopoly, but we don't actually play it.
We had 4 because we got rid of the other Empire.
Oh yeah, we had 2 copies of Empire. I forgot about that.
But we'll put all of these down in the description too, because that's a long list and there's a lot there.
Yeah, I'll put it all down in the description down there. But yeah. So next time we will, in our next non-Disney video, we'll go over kind of our list of intermediate games, and then we'll do our list of advanced games after that.
Yeah, those lists are a lot shorter.
Yes, and it's for people who've been playing a little bit longer or a lot longer. So, but yeah, that's our list of starter games for you. Yes. So go out and play some more tabletop games, because they're super fun. Yeah. It's really fun to get into. It's a fun hobby. Expensive hobby, can be. But
it's expensive.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. So, Anyway, thank you all for joining us this week, and we hope to see you all again next week. And until then, don't forget to thank the Phoenicians.